This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good morning, Charles Christian. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful morning?
Well, it's a little bit cold where we are in England at the moment. Had a little bit of snow overnight, so winter has come.
Winter is at your door. You know, it's really intriguing. I left my air conditioner on a bit too long, and I'm podcasting here, and I'm feeling cold. But I'm guessing my cold is no in comparison to the cold you feel, is it?
It's a different sort of cold, but it's, spring is starting to come. The days are just getting that bit longer, so your spirits start to rise at this time of the year.
All right. What part of the world are you in exactly right now?
Right, I am in England, and I'm in a bit called East Anglia, which is the sticky out bit on the far east of England, which most people miss because all the main roads and main railways pass by about 100 miles to the side.
And do tell us which of your talents, Charles, is responsible for us connecting at this specific time in history.
What of my talents? I think probably the fact I spend too much time on social media and respond to emails, LinkedIn connections, etc. I think it was you finding me.
I did find you, but there's something that you do that, that made you stick out, or put you in red, or made you a part of the target practice. Which one do you think it is? Or what do you do?
What do I do? Well, I've done a lot over the years, but I'm basically a journalist, writer, and in more recent times, I've moved into podcasting and blogging and radio presenting. Just written and talked for the last 40 years. And I have no off switch.
Love it.
And I say I currently produce a weekly podcast called the Weird Tales Radio Show, which is all about folklore, weird things in life, the paranormal, the unusual, legends, where stories come from, which I always find fascinating, that no matter how weird a story is, there's often a true story behind it that's just got changed over time.
That's pretty intriguing. So who did you learn? There's something here, a fascination. Who did you learn how to be fascinated and explore your creativity through it?
I think it may be growing up when I was young in a almost pre-TV era, when reading and the family still used to sit round the fireplace on a winter's evening and tell stories and tell ghost stories and tell stories about members of their family who'd seen ghosts or had supernatural encounters. And I think the fascination came from there. I've always been interested in storytelling, the ability of somebody to craft words in such a way that you're entranced and you follow it through, whether it's a book or face-to-face or whether it's on the radio. It's a great art, that of humans, to be able to tell a good story.
Do you mean
that
things...
it manifests itself?
Do you mean that these things called phones were not always around?
Oh, they were, but they were large black things with a dial on them.
Uh,
And you used to have to go through a lady and you'd say, "Can you put me through to this number, please?" And you're always conscious someone was listening on the other end. No, seriously, I mean, when I grew up, would probably be about 10 years. I was probably about 10 before my parents got a phone in the house. I tend to forget that now. Well, now they're assumed to be part of everyday life, and you see young children with mobile phones. But we forget that the modern digital age is still relatively recent phenomenon. You know, the old analog primitive ways are not that far away from us.
Definitely. So why will you continue to be the person that communicate these stories? Definitely, we're seeing a change in how people interact and how people read. Even if people read, like, why will you still continue to ensure that these conversations continue?
Oh, I mean, I think are people still reading is probably a bit of a false start, in the sense there's always been a lot of people who've never been fans of books, and there's always been a lot who are, but the very nature of reading a book is that it's a private activity, and you don't tend to be filming yourself on FaceTime saying, "Here I am reading a book, LOL." You just look at the casting back 10, 15 years ago when J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter stories first came out. That had a huge take up among young people, huge boost, and once people are attracted to books, they keep it. It's a lifelong thing, and of course now you can put them on your Kindle, iPad, and it's even more convenient. I'd probably so. But I think it's all an aspect of storytelling, and people like to be enthralled, entertained, amused by a good story.
I believe so. So do tell me, where can people reach out, find out more of what you do, Christian?
Right. Well, the best place is my website, which is www.urbanfantasist.com, and that has links to all my podcasts, all my blog postings, and also links to the various books I've got out, although currently I haven't got any new books out. I'm writing one at the moment, but that's probably going to be not seeing the light of day for another 12 months or so.
Okay.
But everything you ever wanted to know about me and more can be found on urbanfantasist.com.
Lovely. Well, do tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
Over the last 3 years, I think over the last 3 years, one thing I have tried to consistently do is to be more positive and more open and more, yes, let's do it, rather than, I'm not sure, it's a bit cold, I don't think so, let me think about it, and negative. A bit more seize the day, carpe diem, get on and do things. A realization that you really do.
Sorry.
It makes you feel good.
It does?
Sorry, no, it makes you feel good, yes. It's that realization that we aren't here forever, and putting off things, opportunities may not come back again for one reason or another. So, if an opportunity comes, explore it. Don't just say, I don't think so, maybe I'll think about it next week. Do it now.
Definitely. Totally agree. All right, my friend. Well, let's switch gears for a moment. Charles, let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Charles, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Childhood memory. Well, I was brought up by the sea, and where I lived, we still have a beautiful soft sand beach. So I suppose most of my childhood memories involve digging large sandcastles on the beach in a vain attempt that if I built the sandcastle big enough, the incoming tide wouldn't wash it away. And then going home with very wet shoes and socks because, of course, the incoming tide always washes it away.
How old do you think you were in that memory?
Oh, I'd be 5 or 6, maybe a little bit younger. When I was younger, my parents would be there watching me. When I started going to school, I'd go on my own and do that. I spent an inordinate amount of my childhood on the beach, failing to learn that you can't keep out the sea.
So why do you think that memory is so clear, though?
I suppose it was sunlight, the reflections on the water, the smell of the brine, the sound of seagulls. It's a very distinctive experience.
How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
Am I still building sandcastles on wet sand? No, I don't think I am. But I suppose it's the element of fun that too many people, I think, decide that they're grown up and they're going to do sensible things from now on and don't have fun. It's the element of having fun. Just doing something because you enjoy it, not because you feel you ought to do it or somebody's told you to do it.
And I think it's that. Millions. Oh, you need to make millions. Like, yes, this is the thing that'll make me make millions, so I have to do it. I'll be rich. That it just be fun. Yeah. I love that.
Just be fun. Yeah, I mean, make your millions and have your heart attack, and then you can sit back and think about all the opportunities and fun you've missed.
Yeah, definitely. Well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind with that memory? I love yes. the storytelling that you were naturally attracted to by nature. When you were describing it, there were all of the songs and the roaring sea and the power of the sea and even the dreaming child that was building the sandcastles. But just to see the storytelling that was happening naturally around you, and to see that you're still intrigued, as well as you're now the person providing the platform for the story to be told. I love how that picture connects.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
12. Oh, hang on. When was I 12? I think it would have been... Where were we then? It would have probably been something, I don't know, maybe Elvis Presley. It was a single I got up. About that time, I got my first record player, one of those Dansette things where you stacked all the 45s on a spindle and then they all dropped down one by one. You hope they drop down one by one. Sometimes they all drop down at once, which was rather disastrous. And I had an Elvis Presley single, I think I bought with my pocket money, and it was called Marie's the Name of his latest flame. And then there's a band called The Shadows, who were a guitar instrumental group, and I used to love their stuff. Apache and Man of Mystery and those songs. All twangy guitars.
All right. Well, we have arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form, so it is yes or no. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Charles?
Yes.
Charles, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to? Yes or no? Come on.
I haven't. No.
Are you
No.
married?
Yes.
Do you have children?
No.
Do you believe in God?
Yes and no.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
No.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Oh, less than 8 hours.
If you had to share with us, Charles, your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, Charles Christian, what would you say that is?
My own unique statement. Stay weird, stay different.
Love it. Love it. It feels as though it's missing just one piece. Stay weird, stay different, be you. Yeah, so that's me. Yeah, be
Yes.
you.
Yeah. That'd be me. Yeah.
Love it. Well, again, this was a great pleasure, Charles. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
No, not at all. No, it's been a great pleasure talking to you. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
I'm glad to hear that.
And I wish you all the best with your own 12-minute combos.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to stay weird. Say it again. You said be weird. Oh.
No, stay weird. Stay weird, stay different.
Oh, there we go. So I'm going to stay weird and stay different and stay me.
Yes.
Charles Christian, thank you.
Always stay you.
Yes, always stay me. Charles Christian, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
This segment has been brought to you by Amazel Enterprise.